Hello and welcome to On the Food Scene with Steve. I'm delighted to be here in New Orleans, and I am at a wonderful restaurant where I enjoyed a great dinner last night called Olivier's. And I want to introduce these people surrounding me. We have Chef Banks, and we have Armand Jr., and we have Sean. Thank you for the most wonderful meal last night. Let me talk for a moment about the items we had last night, since you're the one that prepared those for us. The crab ravioli, tell us a little about that wonderful, wonderful dish.
Well, the crab ravioli, it was one of the dishes that I just created by messing around with pasta, and I like to use a little science with everything I do and try to make it where, you know, it's just a little different. So I wanted a little bit more body to my pasta, so one day I decided to fry it. I gave it a nice body to it, and I added a little tassel to it to put a little bit more flair to it, and add a little New Orleans crawfish and shrimp to it also too, a little wilted spinach and a little asparagus to see how it held out. So I tested it out on specials a couple of times, and I got good reviews back off of it, and when we switched over to the menu, we added it to our menu.
Good decision. And then the eggplant Olivier was another item that I had. Tell us a little about what that was.
The eggplant Olivier was a signature dish before I had arrived at Olivier's, and always been a signature dish that was still had passed down to me also too. It's not on the menu, but we verbally sell it as a special on a nightly basis. It's a fried eggplant dish that consists of crawfish tails, andouille sausage, and shrimp also too, and a garlic basil sauce. We've been doing that for years. That always has been our signature dish.
It's an interesting take on eggplant. And then I know that a couple of your signature items are the barbecue shrimp and the rabbit.
Yes.
So tell us a little about that to entice those viewers.
Well, the barbecue shrimp, I had been doing barbecue shrimp many different times, and I wanted to add a little different flair to it. I still wanted it with the authentic Creole style, how we usually do it down in New Orleans. But I wanted to add a little richness to it, so I reduced it with a little heavy whipped cream, still the authentic flavors that we do, but I wanted to add a little bit more flavor to it by adding a little savory rosemary biscuit to it also too. And with the rabbit, it's not too many places down in the French Quarters where you can actually find rabbit. We're like probably one out of two restaurants in the French Quarter that actually does rabbit. And the rabbit comes with a Worcestershire dressing, some honey glazed carrots, and also a vegetarian rice pilaf. And with the rabbit that we do, we braise it. We slow cook it and braise it for maybe 2 to 3 hours, so it's real tender, nice savory aroma, flavor, everything is just wonderful about it. We take the drippings and we use the drippings and turn the drippings into a gravy. So it's a naturalized jus that we use also too, just to enhance the flavor of the rabbit also too.
Well, let me move over to Armand Jr. for a moment. I also had the gumbo sample. Tell me a little about that. And you had 3 of your family members that each have a recipe.
Yes. I have a son that's involved on third. He's not present today, but he was involved in. Originally, Olivier served 2 gumbos. Armand's and Sean's mom's gumbo was okra, and she only did that gumbo on a Friday evening. So we had a small restaurant, and we served neighborhood folk Creole style, the way they cooked in their homes. And she only did that one as a special on Fridays. Everybody looked forward to the morning gumbo. But the filet gumbo was something that I had. You can find filet gumbo all over the city of New Orleans, and basically, almost all of them are great. But I got together my version of filet gumbo, and we've been using it through the restaurant for many, many years. And then, after we came to the French Quarter, our first location in the French Quarter, my son, Armand, said, hey, I want a little bit of that action. So he created a gumbo, and not only did he create a gumbo, he created a challenge between his mom, me, and his new gumbo. So we had fun with this thing through the years. We had some little cards created, and you would check off. We'd issue them to the people that ordered the Creole gumbo. I mean, the gumbo sampler is what we call it, and it's 3 gumbos. the filet, the okra, and the Creole gumbo, which is Armand's creation. And we had a lot of fun during the years. We issued a card to the person that ordered the gumbo sample, and they would check off their favorite, the second, and naturally the third was last.
Family competition.
Dueling
okay.
gumbos, my friend.
Okay.
Dueling gumbos.
It was very, very interesting, the results. The results were interesting. Armand won hands down with visitors.
Okay.
Okay? The local people, my filet gumbo came in second, or first with the local folk. And the okra, well, naturally, everybody doesn't like okra. You either like okra or you hate okra. So the okra was always running third. But it was a fun thing in the family for us to do for many years.
And Sean, tell me a little about the difference between Creole and Cajun cooking. I know that you are the only family-owned Creole restaurant in the French Quarter.
Yeah, there's a lot of history, a lot of tradition in what we do here at Olivier's. It's more of us offering our heritage and our cooking from our family to yours. We're introducing you Creole cooking is culturally unique. It's often confused with Cajun. Now, Cajun food is very aggressive, very spicy. Nothing wrong with it, but not quite my cup of tea.
Usually.
Yeah, Creole cooking is subtle. Lots of fine, wonderful, intricate sauces, layers of flavor, but nothing that's going to overpower it. So it's really a pleasure. We get a lot of joy out of introducing what real New Orleans cooking is to folks from all over the world. It's a beautiful thing. We get to meet wonderful folks like you, my friend, and hopefully everybody else that sees us comes and visits.
And speaking of that, tell us, for those visitors that might want to come down and visit you, what is your website?
OliviersCreole.com.
And that's O-L...
O-L-I-V-I-E-R-S. Creole, which is C-R-E-O-L.
Right?
.com, yes.
Okay.
I didn't know this would be a spelling test. But anyway, guys.
CREOLE.com.
Yes.
Olivier'sCreole.com.
And they also have to, when they do come here, don't forget the dessert. That peach cobbler was to die for.
And actually, the peach cobbler, that's my dad's recipe. And the bread pudding, now I must admit, as we were talking about the gumbos and as we were talking about desserts, I love my dad, but I'm a mama's boy. And that bread pudding is amazing. It's served with a butter rum sauce that'll knock your socks off. And the okra gumbo is a niche gumbo, but as a mama's boy, I love it.
I can see the little rivalry there.
And giving credit where credit is due, his mom was the original chef of Olivier's.
Okay, great.
She was the original. Her recipes and the ladies on her side of the family's recipes were what we started out doing.
Yeah, when you walk in here, you're looking at you're offered 4 generations of recipes. Going back to my great-grandmother's Creole rabbit and shrimp Creole, up to the contemporary dishes of my brother, Armand III, and Chef Damien Banks. It's real New Orleans cooking.
I think that you have a great operation here, great service, and for those folks who are coming to New Orleans, come to the French Quarter and visit all those folks here. For On the Food Scene with Steve from New Orleans, I'm Stephen Freeze. Bon